Hi everyone, Forrest here with honey pots in Zone 5. It is January 2019. It's icky outside. It has stopped raining, but it is getting colder and things are starting to ice over here in the Mitten State. Today I wanted to talk to you about epiphytes. Epiphytes are pretty much air plants, plants that live in trees. They live on the trees. They are parasitic, so they don't try and take anything from the trees. So they just kind of hang out in their limbs and stuff, and they look gorgeous in the wild. So what I have here, I have Tillandsia, I have bromeliads, and behind me I have orchids hanging out. They're kind of waiting for the spring, and so am I, so they'll bloom for me. But anyways, I wanted to talk about these plants. Do you guys remember when I showed you these and they had like I've been working on them, all this funky, ugly moss in them, and then they had the flower arranging dried flowers or grasses in them. I mean, it looked terrible. And I wanted to show you guys. I took this out of that one right there. Look at that. That is glue. Yeah. They also glued the bark that's in the bottom and the plant. Look, the plant is glued in there. So I'm slowly working on that. I don't want to just yank the poor things out of there. I'm trying to get them healthy before I do that. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about, how you take care of the Tillandsia that I have here. One thing about them is they take the water up through their leaves instead of through their roots. And this is called translocation, which means moving the water from one part of the plant to the other, rather than transpiration, which is taking it up through the roots and into the plant. The little things that you see growing out of the base of them are for them to cling to the tree to. Let's see if you guys can see. See that little like hair-like thing? Yeah. That's not really a root. I mean, we won't go into detail about that one, but don't worry about those. If you see that they're like super, super dry and they're not glued into the pot, go ahead and fill up a sink with water, plop them in there. It's okay if their leaves are getting wet. I like to leave some of my leaves out in the air so they're getting the oxygenation. That's not the right word for that, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So they're in a basin of water, and I'll just plop them in there, and I'll go around and water my other plants, and then I'll come back, drain the water out, and get them back in their pots. And one thing that's really great about the Tillandsia family is you can put them in anything. I mean, you can just lay them on a counter, and as long as you're taking care of them, they will grow. Like this is a milk cow. This is like a creamer cow that I got a while ago. I thought he was really cool. I didn't know what I was going to do with him. Figured he'd be in my kitchen. He wound up in my bathroom. But he holds two of my plants, and they are just set in there. Literally just set in there. And when they get too big for him, I will, it's not how I like to have them, I will, move them to a bigger pot. And speaking of a bigger Tillandsia, where's my little, right, this is an owl who has a freaky hairdo. And that too, that's just setting in there. So any type of planter that you have that doesn't really have any drainage hole in them that you want to have a plant in, this is a great idea, especially if they're an odd shape that you can't really fit another pot down into, like this bromeliad here. I cut off don't want to move it too much. I just planted it. I cut off one of the plastic pots to put down in this container that goes with my decor in my house. So, you know, if you have pots that you just can't get something in but you want to, Talanzi is a great way to go. The air plants, everybody's carrying them, so you should be able to find them real easy. The other type of epiphyte I wanted to talk about are bromeliads. And bromeliads are a really cool plant. They're really popular out there. And this one has had a pup, which is this thing that's kind of sticking out awkward this way. That's a pup, and she'll die off. The mother plant will die off. Sometimes they have more than one pup. I was hoping that she would, but she has not. And as you can see, like right here, this leaf is dying off, and I think I've got, yeah, this one right here. And I pull those out right now. She's not letting that go. So I might trim that back just so it looks better. And then I'll have another plant from this. You can remove the pups if you want to, and then either keep the other plant or get rid of it. I'm just going to leave mine the way it is. This plant, when it's not dying out like the mother is here, these leaves will turn a pink, a beautiful pink, almost like what color the pot's in, and fuchsia. And we all know that I love pink plants for my pink girly shabby chic room. So this one is from my room, so if you see pink pots or something pink, you know where that one goes. And this one here, this is a bromeliad as well. I think they call this sunburst or starburst or something. And I just transplanted it. It wasn't doing well where it was at, so I'm like, I'll just give you a new home. And so I transplanted it, and I bought like some special shelves, and I got these pots, and it looks really, really nice. And once it starts growing and getting happier where it's at, it will start turning pink as well, and red, and it'll just kind of like flame here, which is really neat. Now these I have growing in like an orchid medium, which is a bark medium. They aren't, I mean, they're kind of like just sitting on the soil, and they will grow some type of, it looks like a rooting system, but just to keep itself stable in the pot. And I water those the way that I water this bromeliad as well. So that's going to be it on epiphytes. And try and grow some. They're really cool. I'm kind of getting into the orchid thing now. The ones that I have are kind of like the common moth ones that you see out in the stores and stuff. I forget their Latin name, but does that really matter? I mean, people get caught up on all those crazy Latin names, and I do try and give them to you guys when I can and when I can say them. But let's just face it, it's just a really neat, pretty fun plant. I like talking to you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.